What I don't hear coming from the government, and what I don't hear coming from left activists, and people like yourself, Matthew, is equal condemnation across the board. So condemn those riots by all means, but I would say two things, give you two pieces of advice. Condemn violence and criminal damage and obstruction of the highway, whoever is responsible, and make sure that when you do that, you also address the underlying concerns. The left were absolutely passionate about us addressing the concerns underlying the Black Lives Matter riots. Well, why doesn't the government actually acknowledge that it's entirely legitimate to have a concern, a worry and anxiety about the rate of immigration and the impact on housing, public services, the rule of law, our politics, our culture and our society without, and you can do that entirely innocently, entirely justifiably, and the government is not going to take the wind out of sails. They might suppress the riots, but they're not going to deal with the problem unless they acknowledge that.
I'd be absolutely unequivocal, which is what I've been asking Lee to be. There is no place in our society for violence. There's no place for riots, whether that's Leeds, in Hare Hills or anywhere else. And any violence that took place in those Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, I was on the radio covering them at the time on another broadcaster, any violence that took place is completely unacceptable. So you talk about underlying issues. I think it was absolutely right that what the government did, and as indeed what the courts have done, is crack down first and foremost on the appalling racist violence that we saw in those far-right riots of a couple of weeks ago. You say that we're not tackling, or that the government is not tackling, that we're not having a conversation. We're not having a conversation about what you describe as underlying issues.
How do you know
let me finish.
Let me finish. Who are these far-right people?
People, for example, who set fire to property around an asylum hotel, Lee. If that's not far-right, tell me what is. And let me finish my point. You talk about underlying issues. We've been talking about immigration almost non-stop for I don't know how many years. It was one of the key issues of the recent general election where every eligible adult in this country had a chance to vote. So don't tell me that we don't talk about underlying issues.
You're not talking about it in relation to these problems. You're not.
I'm not interested in whether people are... What people are motivated by. If they're motivated by concerns about immigration, it doesn't give them the option to go and riot violently. Of course it doesn't. Riot.
I've got a legitimate concern. A lot of people...
And we discussed your concerns.
Yes, but a lot of people don't have this platform. A lot of people...
So they're allowed to be violent?
No, I did not say that. So don't put those words in my mouth.
You're contrasting our right to have this platform with people who were violent in riots.
You're not listening to me.
I'm listening to every word you've said.
This is the problem. You guys just do not listen.
Don't lump me together with other people. I'm an individual.
Right, and I am trying to represent the interests of the people out there who have anxiety and worries about the situation, and the government is basically denying them. They're putting this down as the impression, and impressions matter. OK, the perceptions matter because that's people's reality. The government is being perceived as simply not responding to those legitimate concerns from peaceful, law-abiding...
We've just had a general election where people like Lee ran on a ticket about mass migration, as you would put it, and illegal immigration. So, you did again. So therefore, it's not being ignored.
It is being ignored.
We have a democracy. We're having a conversation. We're talking about it now.